Hi Jim. I hope I figured out how to make my videos a little bit better. Up until yesterday, I was editing as I went and resaving each time I added a clip. So I think what that meant is older clips got resaved like 20 or 30 times, and that was really degrading my sound and video quality. So starting today, I'm going to cut it all at the end, and everything will only get saved once or twice. So that should help. Hey, I'm still learning. I'm doing these completely on my old Galaxy Note 8 smartphone. I use an extension mic, so that helps a little, and I edit everything in an app called InShot. So I'm just learning how to do this. Look at that bumper. That bumper looks so nice. It still looks nice this morning, and I can't wait to start putting it together. And I'm hoping that maybe I'll even get to put it back on the car today, because I really want to see how much it doesn't match the rest of the car, because that's what's going to have to happen. The rest of it's come out way too nice. It's got to be the wrong color. I guess we'll have to see. Something else I wanted to mention was a design flaw that I found on this can of clear coat. If you look closely, there's a little black tip right there. And the way it is right now, you can twist it. And the way it's oriented right now is for the fan of the paint when it comes out to be this way to the can. And if you rotate this, then the fan turns this way. Well, if you use the can with the fan oriented parallel with the can, the fan is wide enough that it builds up a little bit on this metal lip here. And if you're holding the can like this and going back and forth across your work, that little bit of buildup on there eventually falls off as a drip right onto your work. As a proof of that, there we go. So that's where I discovered that design flaw of the can, when that drip fell off while I was doing my second coat here. So come on, PPG, why would you send out a can that causes that kind of problem? Anyway, watch out for that. So I need to go get some supplies before I can start putting the bumper back together. And those supplies consist of tacos a couple miles away. So if I'm going to go get tacos a couple miles away, I might as well burn 3 or 4 gallons of gas doing it. Hello, Ford truck. All right. Okay. Good to go here. One of the fun things about this truck is you can hit speed bumps going fast. Whoa! Here we go. I think we're getting a little air there. This truck puts the speed in speed bumps. Yeah. And the tires are expensive too. Oh, boy, after driving a Z4 sports car and then the 650i Grand Touring car, gosh, they're so wonderful. And then getting into this thing with its leaf spring at every corner like an old wagon. It has its charms. It definitely has its charms, but driving dynamics probably isn't one of them, unless you're going for the bucking bronco driving dynamics. Yeah, I love this truck. That's why I've never sold it. Makes me laugh. Wait till we take this thing off-road. You know, in California, it seems like there's a trend lately where maybe they changed the rules or something, but it seems like all of these new developments are allowed to make their parking spots smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you drive a Prius, you probably don't really notice. If you drive this thing, I go to some of these shopping centers and the parking spots are maybe the size of a moped, and There's just nowhere to park this thing. America. Well, that makes us better than that classic Bogart movie, African Queen. They spend days and days and days on that boat throughout the whole movie with no food. No one ever eats anything. Well, that's not how it works. Another fun feature about this truck, curbs don't really mean anything anymore. Going up them, going down them, doesn't really mean anything to this truck. Oh yeah. Ooh. It's a little bumpy, but right over, no problem. The downside of having 36-inch tall tires is, you know, when they say cars stop on a dime, this thing stops on about $3.50. Shout out to my friends over at the local Taco Bell. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. So now I'm going to put together this bumper. I'm going to do it on time-lapse. I'm going to put in my fog lights. I showed you guys earlier how I did a restoration on them. I think it was last week, where these were really bad. You couldn't even see through the lenses. So these are looking good. I'm going to put them in. And then the grills, of course, that'll all happen. And then I'll stop again when I go to fit this little plug. This little plug goes right over here. And I didn't paint this, so when I put this in, it's going to tell me a little something about how well this bumper is going to match the rest of the car when I put it on. So I'll stop for that, and then after that happens, hopefully it'll be better news than worse news. Then I'm going to bring the car in here and put it on the lift and put the front bumper back on. I hope. At least that's my plan. Well, that went pretty well. Everything snapped into place. I didn't damage the new finish anywhere while I was putting it back together. A little prematurely. I was supposed to wait until, well, probably till tomorrow morning to start messing with it, but it seems fairly dry. Anyway, now I'm going to try to put in that plug in the toe hook hole and see if it looks like it's going to match. Here we go. Gotta try and be real careful here so I don't mess anything up. There it is in place, and depending on how the light hits it, sometimes it can look pretty good, and other times, oh, like right there, boy, it looks really very different. So I guess it's gonna really depend on the angle you're looking at it. But I guess if that little tiny difference bothers you, you shouldn't be painting your own front bumper, huh? Or else paint that at the same time. That would have been a solution, I guess. Here's a quick time lapse of how my lift works with nothing on it, so you can kind of see the action. Damn, it's getting warm in here. You might notice I have a couple of wooden ramps there on either side of the lift. The Z4 is way too low. There's no way I could actually drive over the lift with the Z4 without it tearing up the very piece we just labored so hard to repair. So I have to have those ramps there. It also works for my, we haven't met my Volkswagen Beetle yet. but the Beetle front end is pretty low, and I need these ramps in order to get the Beetle over the lift as well, so that's why they're there. I'm hoping I can remember the reverse order and just be able to put this back on without actually having to consult my removal video, but it has been over a week, so I'll probably be able to remember. The hardest part about taking off the front bumper off of this Z4 were these little side clips, and if you know right where the little release button is, they come off real easy. If you don't know, oh, I didn't watch any videos on how to do it before I tried, so in case someone else really wants to know, let me show you. These guys are diabolical. If you know where they are, you can use a screwdriver like this, and you could even put a little bit of tape on the screwdriver to protect your finish, and then just push those in and they slip right out. If you don't know where they are, it's just a pain. So there's two right there, and then there's a third one right in the center of the fender body line. I had to close the hood so I could raise the car as high as possible under the garage door, and I had to take a look and see how well it matched, and look at that. It matches really nicely here under this fake light. We'll have to see how it looks in daylight tomorrow, but now the problem is all these little chips along the leading edge of the hood. Oh, this hood. It doesn't look nearly as nice as the bumper. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to lift the car up as high as possible and put the belly pan on, and then I think we'll be done. And no, I'm not keeping this ugly thing. I have yet to order a new one, but I'm ordering new ones so it'll have a nice traditional BMW emblem on it. And yeah, I kept the yellow outline on the grills. For some reason, I kind of like that. I am also going to do something about this. I don't even know what this monstrosity is. I want to get rid of the yellow off of it, and I want it to look like stock, whatever that is. I'll have to look online, but I know this is like an extra emblem stuck on top of something else. So anyway, I'm going to have to look into what that's supposed to be and straighten that out. Well, we did it. The bumper's back on. It looks great. The paint matches the old paint on the car pretty doggone good. And that great big nasty blemish that used to be there, gone, baby, gone. Hopefully I can find an old clip to cut in here that shows before. That big blemish there just really bugs me. After. Before, after, yeah. Well, hopefully I can. If not, this will look kind of silly. So, we did it. I'm not going to drive it tonight. I'm going to drive it probably tomorrow. And I didn't fix the steering rack or anything else, so we'll get to that another day. What did we prove here? We proved that some knucklehead can actually repaint his front bumper at home using rattle cans and have it come out pretty good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.